couldn't believe it had happened. Finding your car scratched is one of those experiences that leaves its mark on you. After just 60 days, I had come to terms with the situation and was convinced that an economical solution could be found. I searched on the internet for the best product to solve the problem. How to remove a scratch on a car. The solution was called Bigfoot. No matter what search I did, the answer was always the same. Scratch the door, Bigfoot. How to impress women, Bigfoot. A polisher made by Rupes. But who was Rupes? I searched on Google. Founded by the Valentini brothers in 1947, it's the only company in the world that entirely produces all polishing components, machines, compounds, polishing pads and backing pads. It was a world-famous Italian company in the sector and located in Vermezzo, in the province of Milan. Just an hour's drive from my home. I was convinced I had to get a Bigfoot at all costs, or rather, at no costs given my finances. But luckily, I had a plan. I arrived at Rupes and introduced myself at the gate as a YouTuber. Everyone knows that the future of communication is in videos, and a YouTuber is always welcome. It was far too easy. Now I had to disguise myself as a Rupes employee, said and done. First of all, I had to enter the company's computer system to understand all their secrets, since I knew nothing about polishing. Very interesting. Orbital polishers leave less obvious grooves, benefiting from a random movement, compared to classic rotary polishers, which always pass and repass in the same grooves. Furthermore, Rupes backing pads are made to allow the airflow to dissipate heat, thus heating the work surface less. And this is also a big advantage, because they allow you to obtain a good result even if you are not a professional. Great! It was exactly what I needed. Using polishing pads of the same color as the compounds gives an optimal result without effort, as they were designed to work together. I had to take advantage of all that information. Now I needed to borrow the tools, and I had prepared for this too. It was a piece of cake. Now I just had to practice a little. First, I checked what I had managed to borrow. Bigfoot 15, with a 125mm backing pad and 150mm polishing pad. A pair of pliers to hold the rolled cable. Great! A 9-meter cable, so no extensions are needed. The kit came with pads and compounds for most of the jobs. There were also microfiber cloths to remove residue after each polishing, where each color-coded cloth has to be used for the relevant compound. There was also a plastic knife for spreading the compound on before first use and for detaching the polishing pad from the backing pad. The Bigfoot 21 model also had the same equipment, with a 150mm backing pad and 180mm polishing pad. Finally, I opened the case. Wonder of wonders! The Nano Hybrid, which could be used both as a rotary sander and as a random orbital sander, with a 3mm orbit for sanding or 12mm for polishing, depending on the mounting support. It could be battery operated as well as cord. And there were 2 batteries supplied. The batteries lasted 30 minutes each and took 20 minutes to recharge. The 30mm and 50mm backing pad allowed me to polish small details, and with addition of the arm, I could reach even the most difficult spots. Furthermore, there were 2 brushes for cleaning the details, one in horsehair for the leather interior and one in nylon for the other details. Everything suggested that Rupes wasn't joking, that's why they have achieved a leading position in the world stage. Finally, I also had to try the glove for washing the car, which on one side had the microfiber and on the other a kind of rubber to decontaminate the bodywork, that is, to remove the small stains due, for example, to insects that get smashed on the hood. Furthermore, the inside of the glove was waterproof. Using it on a wet surface and with a pinch of car detergent was mandatory, otherwise the rubber would have left unpleasant streaks and would not have been effective. In short, I had managed to get the best product in the market. Finally, it was time to get my hands dirty. No, not like that. Forget it. Having never polished before, I had to practice on a small car, but the owners didn't seem to agree.
No.
Okay, I decided to try on my cousin's car, which he hadn't washed in a long time. First, I washed it with the glove, starting with the microfiber side and then with the rubberized side, to remove all the remains of the midges and who knows what else. After drying it carefully, I noticed that the paint was now dull. I began to polish the car hood, starting at speed 1 with the pad in contact with the bodywork, and then increasing it to speed 3. I had read that with the random orbital machine, it's important to keep the pad against the surface and not to use it at an angle, as it's done with rotary machines. Also, the movements had to be slow, and first in one direction, then perpendicular to that. At the end of the job, wiping with the yellow microfiber cloth, I was able to admire the shine of the hood. It was like new again. And the incredible thing was that it was my first time I had tried to polish, without having any experience. I wonder what a professional could do with a polisher like this. I then tried to remove a few lines from the plastic bumper, and I managed to eliminate those that had not affected the paint too much. The pad could then be easily cleaned with compressed air, while the cloth could easily be washed in the washing machine. At that point, I felt confident enough to deal with a scratch on my car. The result was surprising. In short, nothing was visible anymore. Obviously, it was easier to work successfully on the white bodywork than on a dark car. Nonetheless, for it being my first time polishing, I was more than satisfied. All this excited me, and I decided to try polishing other surfaces. I polished the oven, the shower basin, and finally, my youngest dentures. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel, activating the bell, so you will be notified whenever I will publish a new video. Bye and have a great day!